Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video. Hello and welcome back to Is That Brandon Sharing Thoughts, or Is That Brandon Music? So in today's podcast or video, I will be discussing Eurovision 2025. So this is actually the 69th live final, and today's, this year's Eurovision was actually based in St. Jacob, which is Basel, which was in Switzerland, because Switzerland won last year with Nemo. So they came back. Obviously they won last year with a song called The Code. And in terms of the introduction for Eurovision 2025, we had the Drum Corps of Basel performing a song called Top Secret. And you had your three hosts, Hazel, Sandra and Michelle. I think one of them was a comedian, one of them was a TV presenter influencer, and I think the other one actually represented Eurovision for Switzerland many years and many decades ago. So they all looked lovely, and it was all very entertaining and very, glitz and glam and all of that sort of stuff. So in terms of the actual Eurovision event, as usual, Eurovision's fantastic. Like, I know there's a lot of people that don't see it as anything than just a bit of fun and a bit of a laugh and a bit of a waste of time, but I think if you actually look into the show, it's been on for years. There's a tailored audience for it, I presume. But I think if you're in the industry, anything to do with music or art or creatives or things like that, you know how much effort these people will be putting in to the show, not just the performers themselves, but the people behind the stage, the staging, the lighting, the crew, the camera people, the people that, organise the whole event. So you've got to remember, the country that wins has literally 1 year to put on an entire show that following year. So yeah, as of last year, it was Switzerland who kind of had that 1 year to prepare, get the staging right, work out who was and wasn't going to be involved in the production and things like that. So yeah, it's a lot of hard work, but you've got to think every country has their own way of doing it. So every country is going to do it, their own way. But in terms of the actual performances, I'm just going to quickly whiz through a bit of an overview as to what I thought about the performances, and then obviously, how I kind of ranked my winners, and then how the actual results ended up coming out. So in terms of the order, so the first 7 countries we had were Norway, Luxembourg, Estonia, Israel, Lithuania, Spain and Ukraine. They were followed by the United Kingdom, Austria, Iceland, Latvia, Netherlands, Finland, then Italy, Poland, Germany, Greece, Armenia and Switzerland, and finally Malta, Portugal, Denmark, Sweden, France, San Marino, and to top it all off, Albania was the final performer. So if we just quickly go and run through them all. So performance number 1 was from Norway. So that was Kyle Alessandro performing a song called Lighter. So in terms of his performance, I could tell he was one of the younger ones. So you can tell he's got like a little baby face. Like he looks cute. Like that's kind of how you would see him. Like, oh, he's cute. But really nice voice. Almost like a pop star in his own country. And yeah, in terms of the dancing, really, really good dancing. So yeah, I think I kind of gave him an overall of around 32 out of 40. So when I do my ratings, I rate out of 10 for the outfit, out of 10 for the song and the actual singing itself, out of 10 for the performance, so the overall performance, and then dancing out of 10 as well. So obviously if they don't dance, they don't get marks on the dancing, or if their outfit's boring, they don't get marks on the outfit. So yeah, for some of those performers, they didn't actually dance, so their dancing marks were quite low. But the actual overall performance and their singing and their outfit were incredible. So that kind of brought their score back up. But yeah, it's all just a bit of, for me, it's all just a bit of fun. And when I do mark the performances, I'm not like set in stone, right, that's it can't change. But and also, for me, the voting for myself doesn't really mean anything, because I'm just doing it based on the one time I've seen that performance, where actually I could keep listening to that song, I could keep watching that performance, and those scores will go up and down. So I'm not too bothered about those. But anyway, moving on to the next country, we had Luxembourg. So that was Laura Thorne performing a song called La Poupée Monte à l'Arçon. So I think this is what I like about Eurovision as well. Countries use other countries. So for example, Luxembourg's title of their song sounded French, so they're kind of using a bit of a French song. But anyway, yeah, her performance must have been alright because I gave her average marks. You then had Estonia, so that was Tommy Cash singing Espresso Macchiato. So again, not sure if that's a play on words of Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso, but again, very unique, very strange performance. Yeah, he even had like a fake person come in and throw coffee at him. Like, it was a bit of a weird performance, to be honest. So not really feeling that one. Up next was Israel, so that was Yuval, Raphael, New Day Will Rise. Again, with the whole situation that's going on with Israel, people were actually confused and concerned why they were still in the show. But I think you've kind of got to differentiate real life to like a singing competition. Like, everyone should be welcome no matter what situation is going on, because they're part of Europe. They should be part of the European song contest. So yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one, but I think that's the thing. Like, their performance was absolutely great. Lovely performance, lovely outfit, lovely staging. But yeah, it would have been a bit controversial if they would have won, just because of what's going on at the moment. So yeah, I had a feeling that they were going to do well, but I wasn't sure how well they were going to do. But I like to stay out of the politics and the political things. I like to just keep it relating to the music. So we'll quickly move on. So for Lithuania, we had Catharsis, and they sang a song called Tavo Akis. So I think this was a boy band. I think their outfits were quite average, and the song must have been quite average as well. Then it was Spain, so that was Melody singing Esa Diva. Again, Esa Diva, you can probably tell that's all about her being a diva, her being, you know, sexy and all of that sort of stuff. So very catchy song. And I don't think that's going to be the last we see of her. But again, I don't know how much of a worldwide, you know, like overall vibe people are going to have with that song. I don't know if they're going to go, yeah, that's the song I'm going to vote for. Or if they just go, oh, that was cool, and then move on. Up next, we had Ukraine. So they had a person called Ziffer Blatt, and the song was called Bird of Prey. I did rate it quite highly, so I'm not 100% sure who that was, but the performance must have been alright for me to vote them high as well. Then it was the United Kingdom with Remember Monday, What the Hell Just Happened. I was very, very surprised. It was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I initially knew that the three girls were going to be performing for us probably a month or 2 months before the Eurovision, and this was through Instagram. I must have just seen it on their page, or I think one of my friends shared it. So yeah, really, really good song, really, really catchy. And again, every year we do seem to improve. So you never know, 2026 Eurovision could be me. But no, I doubt it very much. But yeah, very, very impressed with our girls there. Up next was Austria. So this was JJ singing his song Wasted Love. I did actually also have a little quick Google of JJ, and I was absolutely right. So JJ had previously performed on The Voice UK. So obviously he had a bit of a glow up since his younger years, and obviously rebranded from whatever his name was before to JJ. I think it was just his name, but he's just called himself his initials now. So yeah, he already had a bit of popularity before. So again, kind of going into this with a little bit of extra upon some of the other contenders. But yeah, still a really, really good song. Iceland, Varb singing a song called Roa. I think that was also a boy band. Latvia, Tormentitas singing a song called Berman Lamy. Netherlands, Claude, C'est la vie. That was a really, really lovely song. I liked the way that, I think this was the one where it was the black guy. Yeah, and he was kind of like using the camera to his advantage. So kind of as he was moving around the stage, the camera was following him around the stage. That was a really, really nice one. For Finland, you had Erika Vikman with a song called Ishkom. So this was there was a lot going on in this performance. I know she was blonde, very colourful outfit, bigger lady, and she was kind of like parading around the stage. And then I think you kind of get to see behind the scenes how it looks for the viewers at home compared to how it looks for the people in the audience. So every so often you can just see her kind of in position, ready for the camera to come around to her. And then she sat on this microphone or something at the end, and yeah, just there was a lot going on in that performance. But again, similar to the other lady from Spain, it's like good performance, very sexy, but is it going to be a winning performance? Probably not. And then you had Italy, which was Lucio Corsi with a song called Volevo essere un duro. Can't quite remember that one. Obviously quite forgettable. Poland, you had Justyna Steczkowska with a song called Gaja. With Germany, you had Aborentina singing Baller. I think that was predominantly her singing, and then the older guy jumped in and did a bit more singing towards the end. I do recognise that performance. I think she was in the red. Was she in like the red dress with like black hair or something? I'm not quite sure, but I recognise the name Baller. Song 17 was Greece, so Claudia singing Asteramata. Don't quite remember that one. With Armenia, you had Parg with Survivor. Yep, I recognise this one just because he was really hot. So I gave him quite surprisingly low marks, but basically a guy with his shirt off, singing about surviving and, you know, running on this treadmill and stuff. Like, yeah, if it was the sexy Eurovision song contest, then he probably would have got 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10 from me. But yeah, decent guy, decent song. Again, probably just not a winner. Song number 19 was Switzerland, Zoe Me singing Voyage. I think this was a bit more of a ballad, so you couldn't really see much of her. It was more just light in her eye. That was kind of all we got to see. And then when you watch the end of the performance, you can kind of see this piece of paper being taken away from her face, because obviously that's kind of what the audience were able to see. They saw her on the stage with this light in her eye, and obviously as the audience, that's all we got to see on the TV. Song 20 was Malta, so Mariana Conte singing Serving. Again, very catchy song, but being like, you know, serving like a boss girl, like a boss lady, things like that. But yeah, again, it was a very pop kind of song, like a Spanish, Cuban kind of vibe pop song. But again, it was just how popular and relatable that was going to be with the other countries. 21 was Portugal, so they had a group called Napa singing Deslocado. Denmark had Sizzle singing Hallucination. I think that was quite a good song, actually. I did mark that one quite high. 23 was Sweden, a band called Kaj singing Bada Bada Bastu. Had no idea what was going on. I still gave them half okay marks, but I think that was quite an interesting song. Song 24 was France, so Luan singing Maman. Again, very nice song. Song 25, San Marino, Gabri Ponte singing Tutta l'Italia. I think this was the second of the two songs that were kind of taking the mick out of Italy a little bit. I think the other one was Estonia with the whole macchiato thing. So yeah, I think it was just a let's take the mick out of Italy song. So I'm not really sure why that became a theme of the night, but two countries did that. And then finally you had Albania, which was a band or an artist called Shogodra Electronic with a song Zhem. So yeah, I don't really know half of those songs or half of those artists, but in the end, when I did my total of the points, so my top 5 countries, so if we go 5th place, so 5th place I put Denmark, which was Sisal Hallucination, so I put them in 5th place. In 4th place, I actually put the Netherlands, so that was the Claude singing C'est la vie. Again, I loved the camera work in that one. In 3rd place, surprisingly, I actually did put Malta, so that was Mariana Conte singing Serving, so I must have liked the pop vibe, because it kind of was almost like, it wasn't like a, you know, someone that was new to the industry. It's someone that, you know, when you watch all these TV shows and they go, oh, we're going to have a guest performance from whoever, it's almost like she was just coming back and she's already, you know, famous and out there. In 2nd place, I put the United Kingdom. So, you know, I'll remember Monday Girls. I did think their performance was really, really good. Joint with Norway. So Norway was, I think, right near the beginning. Norway was right at the beginning. That was Caio Alessandro Leiter. So, yeah, I put Norway in the UK, 1st and 2nd. Malta, Netherlands, Denmark. And then I guess the 3 at the bottom were actually Italy, Iceland and Lithuania. So in the end, with the actual results, so Austria won. They got 436 points. Israel surprisingly came 2nd with 357. Estonia came 3rd with 356. So that Taking the Mick Out of Italy song actually got them the bronze medal. I'm sure my friend was really, really happy about that, because obviously she is Estonian. And then going down, you had Sweden, Italy, Greece, France, Albania, Ukraine, Switzerland, Finland, Netherlands, Latvia, Poland, Germany, Lithuania, Malta, Norway, the UK, Armenia, Portugal, Luxembourg, Denmark, Spain, Iceland and San Marino right at the bottom with only 27 points. So yeah, in terms of Eurovision, it was, like I said, a lot of those performances I can't remember, just because not only was it that long ago, but also, if I didn't recognise their name, or if I didn't recognise the song, or, I didn't remember the flag being flung by that country, I just will not remember that performance. And I think that is the thing with Eurovision, you're not going to remember all of them, you're only going to have your standout ones that you just remember. So I think if I go through literally all of those countries and just tell you how many I actually still recognise. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So out of all 26, I actually only remember 12 of the performances. So for the other 14, I'm sure when I see them, I'll recognise them. But I just, as of the name, the song and the country, I can't remember who or what they were. But yeah, and it's also quite interesting to see my own results, because after the juries, Austria were still first, Switzerland were second, France were third, Italy were fourth, and the Netherlands were fifth. But then obviously, the further on that you go with the results, the Netherlands ended up slipping from 5th to 12th. Italy went from 4th to 5th. France went from 3rd to 7th. Switzerland went from 2nd to 10th. Austria already leading, and Austria remained leading by the end of the programme, hence why they won. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting show. I think there's a lot of pros and cons with it. I think pros, you're presenting showcasing different types of music, different countries, different cultures, things like that. There's a lot of music video reviews in there for me to do as well. So if I go back on the years, look at all the different artists over the years, if they're all releasing music now, going over reviews and things for them. You've also got to think there's probably a lot of people who this was just a one-time wonder. They've done their Eurovision entry and they decided not to ever make music again, or they've changed their name, or they're rebranding, or they're in a different industry now. So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of those that they do their 1 or 2 songs, they have their 5 minutes of fame, and then you just never hear from them again. But I think Eurovision is one of those things that is supposed to be fun. You're not going to remember every single audience, you're not going to remember every single performance, you're not going to, love every single performance. Some of them are going to be great, some of them are going to be awful, some of them is just going to be purely there for eye candy. So that is the excitement of Eurovision, the fact that it's just whatever that country wants to present for that year, how they want to perceive themselves. But obviously, as we know now, we are going to Austria in 2026, so it'll be very interesting to see how they decide to put on the show. And obviously Austria was the winning country back in 2014, Conchita Wurst with Rise Like a Phoenix, one of my favourite songs to date. Again, I've managed to work out how to sing that song, but it's like things like that. For example, I could not go back and sing all of the songs of this year because half of them I can't remember. Some of them are in different language, whereas something like Rise Like a Phoenix is a very universal, a lot of people can sing that song kind of thing. So yeah, I'm going to love you and leave you all. Hopefully you have enjoyed my review. I know it was a bit all over the place, but yeah, basically just giving a little nod and a little tap on the shoulder to Eurovision, because they always work really hard every year. The guy that does the adjudicating and stuff, again, similarly with him, making sure that people are not cheating with their votes and things like that. So yeah, I think Eurovision is one of those exciting shows that will probably keep going on and on and on, and when he decides to step away from the programme, somebody else will jump in and get involved instead. But yeah, until now, massive congratulations to JJ from Austria. Must have been an amazing evening for him and the next following days. But then also for our girls, we didn't come last. We beat 7 other countries. We beat San Marino, Iceland, Spain, Denmark, Luxembourg, Portugal and Armenia. So I think we came 19th, I think, overall then. So yeah, they did an amazing job, and more music from them hopefully soon. But if you did enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And until my next review, in whichever format that will be, don't forget to share and all that stuff. And until then, thank you for listening and watching, and goodbye.